A lot of people ask us what is the difference between a will and a trust and why they need to choose one over the other, and most importantly, if they need a will or a trust. Well, you need to choose carefully in deciding the options of your estate planning, because if you don't, your assets may be distributed in ways that does not align with your intention upon demise. Hi, my name is Kenny Lawal, and today we'll be discussing the difference between a will and a trust. This brings us to the first question: what is a will? A will is a legal document that outlines how your assets and belongings are distributed to your beneficiaries upon your demise. However, people fail to realize that having a will does not mean that when you put this together, or even have a lawyer to help you put it together and notarized and witnessed, then it becomes a binding will. However, that is not true. To make a will a binding will, it has to be registered in a probate office. I'm sure you have a question in your mind: what is a probate office, or probate registry as the case may be? A probate registry is a division of the State High Court of the Federation of the States, which means, simply put, it is a court that you have to administer your will. The probate office grants something called the grant of probate that validates every will that is being drafted. So it is not the case that if you draft a will in a document or have a lawyer do it, it becomes a binding will. It still has to go through the process of registering it or filing it in a probate registry. Now, what is a trust? Well, in the context of estate planning, a trust has the same language as that of a will, which is where you decide where your asset goes. Does it go to your children? Does it go to your wife? Does it go to your family, extended relative, partner, whoever? It has the same language. What are the differences between a will and a trust? As you can see, a will has instruction, a trust has instruction. However, a will requires a probate for it to be administered, while a trust can stand on its own without the use of a probate to administer it. All you need is someone or an entity called a trustee to administer whatever instruction that has been stated in the trust. Also, another difference is the fact that for a will, in the process of granting a probate, you would have to pay some form of taxes to the government, which some people term as expensive. Well, it's a percentage of the total worth of the estate, which is the value of the house, the value amount, the account, or whatever, and they take a percentage of it while granting a probate office. So if your beneficiaries don't have the money to pay, they may not be able to administer your assets. However, in a trust, you're not paying any money to the government in the form of taxes. All you'll be paying is a fee to the trustee that would be administering your instructions. So the question, which should I choose? Why choose a will or why choose a trust? Well, a will is a good option for someone who has a very limited assets and who has a very small family, less complicated, and who is not afraid of the estate going through any lawsuit or the beneficiary having to deal with any family drama. That option would be to go for a will. However, if you have a complex asset, be it you have shares in different companies, you have assets in different states of the country, you have much more larger assets in different spheres of your works, and you have an extended family, and you seem to know that the asset is going to be jointly owned by different people, then the better option would be to have a trust, because that way you'll be able to instruct the trustee to manage the assets in certain ways and certain conditions. When you have children where you know that the asset that is about to pass on to them is going to either bring up some bad habits like gambling, like drugs, then the best option would be to have a trust. Okay, so ultimately, depending on the condition of the asset and your family, that is what stipulates which option to go for. A simple, less complicated family, a will. A much more larger asset and a larger family with much more conditions to be fulfilled, then the trust is the better option. So next question: why do you need to be careful in choosing the options, whether will or trust? This brings me back to a famous celebrity. I'm not going to go into details of who it was, but she had her own will done by herself, handwritten, and she had several ones done. And upon her demise, I think all the beneficiaries found different wills, and they all claimed that the ones they found was the valid one. And the sad truth was that they spent millions of naira. No, I think it's a US, so it was dollars, millions of dollars in litigating on whether their wills was the right one or not. And this goes to show one of the disadvantages of having several wills and not having it filed at the probate office. And the celebrity had a very complex asset. So these are ways that you can learn and know that different assets being owned by different testator determines the options to choose from. So why do you need to do this sooner than later? Well, I think we can all agree that it is best to settle your affairs when you are very vertical and very agile and having a very clear mind, as opposed to when you are having to deal with illness or there's a sudden death and all. That way you are sure that your assets are being managed the way you want them to be managed. You're sure that the conditions that you've set in the trust or will are going to be met as your intentions and as clear as you want it to be done. So the best time to plan your estate is now. To get more information about this, please reach out to DLM Trust through the contact on your screen. Thank you.